is a little bit different than his short roll activity. So we were trying to pull weak side and clog up as much as we can, but also know that we were susceptible to some of those skip passes. And we knew those were long runs. I didn't think we did a great job early. One time we just didn't stay with Atwell. That was the one guy we weren't going to leave at all. And then, Christian Anderson got a couple ball screen threes there. We just weren't up touching and ball screen D, and we had to do a better job. We were hedging some ball screens with TK and Oscar, and JB was switching, but Oscar also was in a drop, and so was Daniel. And a couple of times we just weren't up there, and we did a better job as the game went on with that. But he's a tough cover. JT Toppin's a good player, man. Today wasn't his day, but he also took a couple shots to start the game he absolutely shouldn't take. And he just didn't get himself in a groove. Like get yourself in a groove. Get to the free throw line, get some dunks and layups, get the ball in the paint, get it going. And he didn't do that to start with. He got a couple as the game went on. But that really helped us, in my opinion.
Did you guys even grow 1 through 10 from a quality perspective in this event? Some of the things you got from Benner, some of the things you got from CJ. Obviously, Oscar having the impact he did as a relative newcomer. Do you feel like you're a deeper, better team now than you were 2 days ago?
Yeah, and it comes to with opportunity, like TK being in foul trouble allows Jack to play a little bit more. I thought Homer was aggressive in the first night. He didn't knock down shots, but I liked the aggressiveness. He was 2 for 9, and then tonight, he played a really good game. But I didn't think he played a bad game against Memphis. He just didn't make some of those shots. So you got to, when you come in with that second unit, at times it depends on the blend. You need guys to be aggressive like that. And when we got they didn't score to start the second half for a while, and Oscar's just getting every rebound. And it's just, that's demoralizing to the other team when they're struggling and now they can't get some second chance opportunities. But yeah, like all the newcomers and the guys off the bench, CJ's is a guy that got some opportunities to start the game. And sometimes that's just not the case, right? And he got some opportunities, made a couple pull-ups, made a three, and got us going.
I think Oscar had 3 blocks the other night. His length and things, how was that factoring into what you can be defensively?
Right. Him and Daniel, that's what we missed last year. Oscar really helps us more from a rebounding standpoint. He's one of the best rebounders in the country. TK is rebounding like he's one of the best rebounders in the country. It was great seeing Daniel get some boards and, just stay in the game. It was frustrating for him against Memphis, getting into that foul trouble, just like it was frustrating for TK in both of those games. So, no, he's been great. He hasn't consistently blocked shots, but he has good length. And tonight he got a couple.
31 to 3 run in 12 minutes and 36 seconds of game time. Can you remember ever being a part of something like that in a top 20 matchup, and what kind of spurred that for you guys?
Yeah, that's the answer. Like, no, not really. We're a team that good. They're a good team. Like they went on the road and played at Illinois, and it went down to the end of the game. They have really good players. They have a couple guys that are going to play in the NBA, and just hats off to our guys. I thought from our rebounding and defense, we've made some strides here the last 3 weeks. I don't think we've arrived, but yeah, it was a great effort by our guys, and our seniors to be able to play in 4 quality MTEs and be undefeated, and you just go down and see that list of schools and and how good those programs have been, and for us to have that kind of success, that's why we've had really good seeds in the tournament, because like we've played in these and we've had success, and that really helps you, especially on the neutral court.
I know the answer is that you have to replicate this now, but at the same time, seeing a defensive performance like that, is that important for this team? Do you feel like they needed to prove it to themselves or see it themselves to then replicate it?
Yeah, I mean, just doing little things. I think as the game goes on, sometimes a lot of teams will have slippage, and you lose the details, and you just have to stay with it. And I thought our guys did a better job tonight. It's easier to stay with it when you're seeing the results. And I think for us, we handled the post a little bit differently. We handled the pocket pass a little bit differently, and all because of JT Toppin and our respect for him. And yeah, just I think every coach in America sits there and harps on doing your job. And when you have players that are good enough and they do their job and they have a great competitive spirit, I think you're going to get pretty good results.
Did Memphis bring something out of your team from motion standpoint and anger, angst?
I don't know about that. I thought we got emotional in that game and didn't really show the maturity that we needed to show and got caught up. And it was like I told our team, it was a really good lesson to learn and still win a game. A lot of times when you got to learn that lesson, you lose the game because we very easily could have lost that game. And but it just kind of shows like we start the game against Memphis and we go probably to the second media timeout. We probably had one bad offensive possession, but we missed open shots. And so like now it doesn't make you feel as well and it doesn't look as well. But when you go back and watch the tape, you're like, man, those are all really good shots. Like those are the ones that you want. And then you play this game and you make those and you have 50 points at halftime. And so like things are going to look a lot better from an efficiency standpoint when the ball goes in.
What's the long-term value of these sorts of events?
I think it helps you from your seed standpoint more than anything, but it also helps you because you're going to play in the NCAA tournament on a neutral court. And it gives you confidence that, Memphis is a different team in terms of how they play and what they do and their athleticism, Texas Tech and their athleticism and their, skill level. I mean, they're a good team. Like Texas Tech is a good team. And I think it just builds confidence for you. But more than anything, it gives you, you can't pick who you play in the tournament. And now, like when you play people that are similar to that, or you play them again, I think it helps you. It doesn't make it, the end all be all. Like it's always going to work, but like that's all you can do as a coach is do your best to schedule. So now you're prepared for conference play. Now you're prepared for the, NCAA tournament.
Right at the beginning of the game, CJ gets involved with a pick and roll with TKR. One leads a score for TK, one leads a score for CJ, but I haven't really seen that a ton before. Is that something intentional to get him more involved in the offense early?
Yeah. He got into PJ got some actions for him, to kind of get to his pull up. He's gotten a couple shots just off a penetration pull up shot fake and they fly by. Either he sidesteps on a catch or he comes off the dribble and shot fakes and just shoots it in the same place. But, he's when he has a good rhythm, the ball goes in. And he's a really good compliment, to our guys. And it's good, like when your compliment gets 18 points, right? He just lifted us other night. We really needed him against Memphis. And he just took that confidence and then started the game and knocked down those 3 shots. I normally sub him right at that break. I tried to grab a couple more offensive possessions there to see if he could, dial another one up.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
I have a couple.